So I'm going to do a multi-part video for my Q&A response. Since I actually got a lot of questions and some video responses out of it, I don't think I'm going to be able to fit into the 10-minute time frame that YouTube unfortunately makes me abide by. So here we go. Enter Fire and Ice asked me what do I think about Guitar Hero and all the ripoffs and all the other shit that has to do with the music genre. I think that unfortunately it's starting to grow really stale really fast because all they're doing is flooding the market with a ton of fucking games. Like there's, what, 5 Guitar Heroes right now? 6,000? Some shit like that. And then there's a bunch of rock bands and then everybody else who's trying to jump on a bandwagon but can't really compete because they don't have name recognition or all the fucking artists to support them. So right now, I thought it was cool at first. Now it's just too much. There's just way too much shit. And on top of that, it costs a lot. You know, if you want to get like the entire kit and everything, you could just buy a console. That's my take on it. If you have the money, you know, and you really want to have like a party type game going on where you guys are doing something more than just fucking like shooting people, then yeah, I guess it's kind of cool, but ultimately I've been shying away from it as much as humanly possible. Killer X Waffles asked me, what do I think of Black Ops? I haven't actually gotten a hold of the game yet. I will eventually get the game. Do I think it's going to be any good or if it's going to just be a fail? Possibly. I mean, it's kind of hard to say. I mean, Modern Warfare 2 was good, but not as good as some of the previous titles in my opinion. And they kept taking away features, so this pissed me off even more. And then there's the fact that Black Ops is actually being made by, not Infinity Ward, but Treyarch, I think it is. So yeah, there's a good chance that will be pretty cool, because World at War was pretty decent. It was different. It was definitely a departure for the series, so I liked that style in general, whenever they decided to take the same exact concept and run it their own way. So that's pretty cool. All the new weapons and like perks and shit like that you're getting seem like they're going to be really neat. The new kill streaks, you know, I'm all about that shit. So I'm just hoping that they add a lot more to the multiplayer and somehow manage to make the one-player mode a little more interesting, because almost everybody I know does not even fuck with one player. They're just like straight to multiplayer, fuck one player. So if they could actually make the one-player mode pretty neat, or the co-op mode, or whatever the fuck it would be, then yeah, I would give them a lot of credit just for doing that alone. Jonathan85211 asked me, do I think motion controls are going to be in the next generation of consoles? Probably. I mean, it's gotten pretty big. With the success of the Wii, I can already guarantee that Nintendo's been working on a new console that's going to integrate motion controls in a very big way. I'm just hoping that they allow for traditional controls too, because honestly, motion controls, as much as I hate to say it, I'm not an extremely big fan of. I think the idea is nice, but for the novelty of it, and that's really about it. I'm more of a traditional gamer, controller needing person. That's all there is to it, and a lot of people I know are the same exact way. So if they offer it as, you know, something that you can do, you know, like this is an alternate controller, then yeah, I would really like that. Especially like, what I think would be awesome is if they made the system, it had a basic controller and a motion controller for it. I think that'd be extremely nice in general. That to me would just kick the most ass, because you'd be getting, you know, the best of both worlds. And then you could go out and you could buy either controller that you want and your system will recognize them both. If they could do something like that, I think that it would be more welcome by gamers, especially by the hardcore, because you're already getting it with the box. It's not something that you have to run out and buy because it's already there. So maybe if they do something like that, but for the time being, I just wanted to go back to a regular ass controller, because the GameCube controller was way better in my opinion. Ladiesman146 said Left 4 Dead 2 or Dead Rising 2. Wholeheartedly, I will have to say Dead Rising 2. As much as I like Left 4 Dead 2, because it's fucking awesome, especially online and with friends and everything, but the thing is, ultimately, if you're playing a game by yourself, it's boring. It's so fucking boring. And the thing is, Dead Rising 2 now has co-op, and the co-op is killer. Granted, I think that they should have allowed for a couple more people in co-op. Like, I would love to have like 8 people running around. Granted, all the zombies would be completely fucked, but it would be a lot of fun. You know, just ramp up the difficulty, add more psychopaths running around or some shit like that. You know, whatever they would want to do, I think it would be a cool idea. But yeah, I've definitely had more fun playing Dead Rising 2. So yeah, that's That's my opinion. ElizFaith568 asked me, what's my favorite genre of games and why? RPGs. I've been a really big fan of RPGs. Like, action games come in a very close second, but the thing is, ultimately, I'm just a big fucking nerd. I like to sit down with my controller and level up my characters and see this big crazy fucking story and find all these secrets and, you know, just get immersed into the fucking world and all that shit. But, I mean, ultimately, I have to, like, be in the mood to play RPGs. That's the downside to them. Whereas action games, I'm always in the mood to play an action game. Unless I'm, like, freakishly fucking tired, and even then, I can still just be like, what? No, I'm cool. I'm cool. Yeah. Yes. I'm falling asleep and shit. But, yeah, I'd have to say RPGs. It's not by a considerable margin, but enough. So, yeah. Yay, Final Fantasy VII. Yeah. Resident Evil Juggalo 3 asked me what is my favorite metal band and what is my favorite Resident Evil. As for metal band, I would have to say it's Pantera. Hands down. But a couple other ones be Cannibal Corpse, Death, Slayer, they're all around really kick-ass bands. I love them to death. And they're one of the reasons why I like the music that I do. But other than that, for Resident Evil, it'd be a toss-up between Resident Evil 1 and 2. I actually had this conversation just a couple days ago, you know, which is better, Resident Evil 1 or Resident Evil 2. And it's hard to say, because both of them are so fucking good for really different reasons. Resident Evil 2 is like one of the best sequels I've ever played for a game. But Resident Evil 1's the reason why I got into the series. So, yeah, unfortunately, I can't pick one over the other. I even said that during that conversation. So yeah, it's either 1 or 2, if that's a good enough answer. Apple Pie in Police State asks, did Satan impregnate my mother? Huh. It's kind of funny that you asked that, because, see, my mom was at a bar one night, and all of a sudden, big fucking hole just opens up, bunch of fire and fucking corpses are just shooting out of it. Satan, he just pops the fuck out, leans over to the bartender and says, hi, I would like a Jaeger bomb. While he's waiting for his drink, he turns to my mom and he says, hey, how about we go and bang one out back when I'm done with this drink? Of course, my mom said yes, because she was drunk and it's Satan. Who the fuck is gonna say no? So then they go around back. Satan pretty much gives her the old in, out, and then 9 months later, that's how I came to be. So, to answer your question, yes, Satan is my fucking father. And he did not pay child support. RunTitan09 asked me, do I think Call of Duty is overrated? Yeah. And before all the fanboys start fucking flinging shit at me, you have to understand that a game can get too big. Call of Duty is one of those games that got so big, and it wasn't like it was the most perfect game. It isn't by any means. It's a very good game. The multiplayer is very good. There are other games that are just as good, though. There are games that may have better multiplayer. They have more balance, more weapons, more classes, a better one-player mode, better co-op, better campaigns in general. There's games that are better, but didn't do nearly as good and weren't nearly as successful. But Call of Duty was. And it's mostly just name recognition. It was like, Call of Duty, new one's coming out, everybody went and fucking bought it. Same thing will happen with new Black Ops, and every Call of Duty, you know, from now till then, until the new game comes out that everybody goes and buys up a whole bunch. So yeah, overrated, I would definitely say so, but most games that become extremely popular, they end up becoming overrated. That's all there is to it. And you have all the people that will say like nothing but negative stuff about them, only because they're overrated, which is kind of dumb. In my opinion, like, you know, you can't just bash a game because it's popular. That doesn't make any fucking sense. You have to have, like, an actual reason to fucking do it.